Am I tuned? Do you? Are you tuned, Bill?
I don't know.
This is live exclusive here. This is so cool.
We're just tuning.
That's
Sorry.
awesome. Yeah.
As long as you can hear us. I think I have to go. I have to go closer to the computer. Oh no, you're cutting out. I have to go closer to the computer, and Alex has to go further away from the computer because of the sound. You're not recording, are you?
I just hit record.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to stop?
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
No, it's all right. You do.
I'll be back here because I'm too loud.
Oh my God, I love you guys.
They were chasing him yesterday, and he had to stow himself away. He had to take extreme caution, 'cause they were very strong. But they had to let him be in the Ecuadorian embassy. They had to let him be in the Ecuadorian embassy because he exposed them, disrobed them, Julian Assange. He exposed them, disrobed them. They don't care for democracy when protecting their war machine. No, they don't care for diplomacy when protecting all their dodgy schemes. What happened to freedom of press and freedom to express? Freedom of speech. Do they apply to WikiLeaks? Now they want him to expose them enemies of their state. Now they want him to expose them because of Russia Gate. Yeah. He exposed them, disrobed them, Julian Assange. He exposed them, disrobed them.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Right.
You don't know how hard it is to protest without like musical talent. I wish that I could get out there with a violin or sing, but all I have is just me. It's just me. You're so lucky.
Yeah, well, I was seeing Alex doing the same thing and getting on MSM in London that made me want to do it because I was like, oh, right, instead of just sharing stuff online, maybe I can actually get out on the streets and make a scene.
Because you really, ultimately we don't know how much we're being censored, like on Facebook and all the different social medias, but we know that we are. Like you and me, people like us, when we share stuff, we notice, like glitches or, errors that are like permanent on these platforms, and other people don't experience it, and so they think it doesn't exist, and it's like, and then they'll try and give you like remedies of what you can do to like fight the censorship, and you're like, I've tried everything. Like,
yeah, but even my normal sharing my stuff, even my normal friends sharing my stuff, like when I actually poke them and say, hey, I just did the speech or whatever, they put it up there and they even notice that that doesn't get seen.
Yeah, actually, it was really hard. Like, my brother works for a radio, Maori radio station. Here we are in New Zealand. My brother works there, and he was trying to share our stuff and couldn't, and we had to find different alternative ways to put it up there through Facebook.
I just shared a whole bunch of images on your timeline
Okay.
of what I've been capturing. What I didn't manage to find, because I can't seem to search comments. And that's another thing. Facebook functionality, even YouTube functionality, seems to be dropping out for me a lot. Like normal buttons don't work. It takes a long time to load. Really strange things. A really strange thing happened to me when, do you know when all the heat was on the embassy, when we knew it was going to happen in hours or days? Sabine was out there doing the candles, and she originally got the idea from when we did the candles in Wellington, and I posted it on Discord and said how we put them in plastic cups so that they wouldn't blow out, and nailed them into the grass and stuff, and I put the instructions out. She saw them, and she started doing the candles in the embassy outside in London all the time, and she found a way of doing it with the artificial ones, you know, with all the rainbow colored ones.
The rainbow color, those were really cool.
Yeah. So she was on the ground before the arrest, and she was getting harassed by those same people that Cassandra Fairbanks has been was tracking. You know, those same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the one with the red tents out the front of the embassy and the teddy bears. She was the one doing the candles, and she was the one who was first on the scene when we were all knowing about it in New Zealand and Australia, because we were up, and no one in London knew, because it was like 1 a.m. about this what had happened, and so. You know, she immediately got down there with candles and everything. Anyway, she was passing a message to me on Facebook, and she said, my DMs on Twitter are being messed about with. I cannot get message out to someone. I need to let Steve in Canada know. He's another Assange major campaigner. I need to let him know that I need him to call me, and I can't get the message through. Can you get it to him? So, of course, I opened up a Facebook Messenger call. I tried to ring him. Now, he could hear me and I couldn't hear him, but I thought he protected his own identity because he had a great big cloud in front of his face, like a privacy, like his identity was being protected. Now, I thought he might just have a thing on his messenger where he could put that on or whatever. But anyway, it turned out that he didn't do that, and he could hear into my living room. And I was talking away, and I was talking to Timothy, actually. He was over, and I was like, oh, I can't get through. I'll try and ring again. And I'm ringing again. I've definitely cancelled the call. Steve had tried to cancel the call, yet he could still hear everything in my living room, everything I was saying and seeing everything. He even shut down Chrome, he said, and it was still showing a picture of my living room, and he could hear, and he left it on to see how long that would last. In the end, he had to shut down his machine for it to stop. And later on, then he told me, no, I don't put a privacy cloud on my face, you know, and then I realized, my God, that wasn't even normal. So what the hell was that? Yeah, and it was an important message, and it was something that was being harassed already on Twitter. And after that, I felt like I got weird. I have had a harassment call. I've had someone on a campsite on New Year's Eve threaten me with rat poison when they found out I was a WikiLeaks supporter. I think they pretended they'd already poisoned me, actually. And they said my children would find my rotting corpse in 3 days.
Wow.
And like, yeah. And, you know, before that, he'd been like doing song requests for violin sitting on the beach by this campsite on New Year's Eve at 2 a.m. You know, he'd been doing all these song requests. Yeah. And there he was, you know, as soon as he found out that I did music for WikiLeaks and Assange, he just turned into a psychopath.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah.
You know, the U.S. is like that too. There's a lot of people that are, you know, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people are very delusional. They have, you know, this hero worship, and, you know, they follow the mainstream media, they follow these Hollywood actors and celebrities and everybody that lie to them, you know, and they're just like, they're extremely deceived. We have to wake people up, you know.
Do you know what I've thought about is that telling people that by watching mainstream media, or at least by only watching and reading mainstream media, they are literally giving their advertising worth in some proportion to the military complex. And that sometimes makes people think. Another thing that makes people think is Bana Abed, the whole psyop of the Syria war, you know, like the chemical attacks being staged by the white helmets, all that sort of stuff. Some of those things are like Bernie being cheated by Hillary. They're like awakeners, aren't they? They're the things where normal people just go, holy crap, you know, and realize just how screwed up it all is, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
So you run a movement called Free Assange New Zealand, correct?
Yeah, Free Assange NZ. We just have a Facebook page and just share stuff there, and we try and get protests on the ground going. We've got a bunch of ladies in Auckland. Of course, there are people that are remote and they can only so much get to Auckland, or you know, the roads are not great in New Zealand. It takes 12 hours to get to Auckland driving, and it's quite monotonous.
Yeah, that's the problem we're having here too, where we're trying to get people to mobilize. But it's hard because people not only have health issues, or they have money issues, or they have, don't want to jeopardize their jobs by supporting.
Right, a lot of people have government contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's government place, so none of my friends can actively support me.
Yeah, so, and it's lonely, isn't it? You know?
I mean, I work for myself, so I'm really lucky. Although I must say, work is dried up recently, and I've been focusing so much on activism. I have been really letting the money side go of my life a little bit too much.
Access, I hear that. So that's like a normal thing for people like you, and but I appreciate all your efforts and your videos, and I think that it would benefit the entire planet if we had more people like you guys. So happy. I'm so honored to be on a video with you guys today. Let's talk about, okay, so Facebook censorship, it's, they're obviously shadow banning you.
Yeah. I've got some, like I said, I've put some images on your timeline, but I can share them on the screen, can't I?
Yeah, yeah, you can.
How do I do that?
Okay, I think the bottom is, does it say share? It's share on mine. I could do it if you want me to pull it up.
Well, I've posted them all up on your first timeline post, I think, pretty much.
Yeah, we'll pull it up. I was watching this from Israel. Have you seen this?
I have. I've shared that. It's incredible.
They're disgusting. They don't hide it anymore.
No.
Let me refresh.
Oh yes, and that one with Aaron Mate.
Can you confirm or deny? Have you heard about them chemically injecting Assange? Have you heard about that?
It's been debunked by the Assange legal team. I mean, no, let's not say Assange legal. Let's say that I've seen a post by Bella Magnani, and usually she is incredibly accurate. Yeah, if harsh and abrasive at times, but she's incredibly accurate with her information. So I tend to trust her, and she said, no, that's not true. But who knows? But yeah, who knows?
Honestly, at this point, like, I know that we have to take everything very seriously and have sources for everything, but honestly, I don't trust his safety in there, whether medically injected or what. I don't, he's not safe, so that's not the case.
No. Okay, so you're sharing this one. So what happened was, a good reason why I woke up was, obviously, I mean, I formerly supported Bernie. I wouldn't at all now, but I supported Bernie. I was in every group. This was very exciting. I felt like he was a real deal. And then became more aware of the DNC cheating very early on. Like, I followed Sane Progressive, and H.A. Goodman even was a little bit more rational thinking those days, and I used to listen to some of that stuff, and I just couldn't believe what was going on. And some of the footage from elections in America just appalled me, and I could see these poor people who were so excited about getting really upset. Anyway, I noticed really early on, because I think New Zealand they use the New Zealand social media population as a sort of guinea pig to try out new algorithms. And I told everyone, I am swearing that what used to get lots of shares suddenly doesn't anymore. It's literally zero. And it took a while for them to work out the algorithm so that you'd at least get the odd share. And what it would be the only people who'd commented on it. And I used to tell, back in the primary days of Bernie days, I used to tell American friends this is what's happening to me. I'm not kidding. And they were like, oh, you're being paranoid. No. And of course, they would all agree with me now. If they've got a dissenting opinion, they would definitely agree with what I've said now. And I think they roll it out here first because New Zealand is quite a passive population in terms of not complaining about things and, you know, not making a big fuss and feeling like we've really got a good deal. So how can we complain? You know, a lot of toolbox syndrome, all that sort of stuff, you know. Anyway, so I put up this post, and this is a rewrite of it because I had to delete the original post, and I can't remember what it said, but it basically starts with, vote for Hillary. So basically she can profit from war, do weapons deals, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I ran off a whole series of reasons why it was absolutely ridiculous that Hillary was the candidate, you know. And but because it said vote for Hillary, so it seemed to have been kind of artificially pinned to the top of my profile on Facebook, and it's a personal Facebook page, and I didn't even know how that was possible, and yet for months it stayed there, and I wanted to keep it because it was a good, you know, dissing post of her, but I had to delete it in the end. The only way I could get rid of it, and because it was the only thing people were seeing when they were coming to my page, but probably they weren't going any further, you know what I mean? That would come at the top, and that's all they'd see, and I get a lot of comments on that, but you know what I mean? It just seemed really artificially placed there by an algorithm, yeah. And so I had to delete it. So this is me in 2016 kind of rewriting the half of it, but it wasn't what it actually. So that was just a point about how they were definitely, New Zealand seemed to be first to experience it, and other people didn't realize, and now everyone's getting on with that. This is quite a new post. This is just the girl that had told me she'd been following me, and I believe she'd been following me first, first, and yet she never saw any posts from me anymore. And I've had that comment from more than people in person here as well as people saying, like Timothy was saying about sharing on stuff, that they're not able to share the video for some reason. It seems to not have a share button or weird things like that, that it's always been public, so I don't know how that could happen.
I've had those things too, you know, where there's not a share button, or they'll delete a comment that I write and it'll just be gone. And sometimes I'll wait 10 hours and it'll just show up again.
Right.
And three of my devices have already been like perma-banned on Facebook. I think what happened was I posted a video of me confronting Nina Turner, and within 24 hours my Facebook page was deleted, gone, no jail time. Normally it's just jail. Deleted.
Wow.
I tried to make a new one, wouldn't let me. Tried to make a new one, and each time they make you enter a new cell phone number and a new email. And the email can't be new. So like I'd have to make an email, have it for a few weeks, and people are like, oh well, just make a new account or get your friend to make it. I had a friend trying to make me an account from across the country. I logged in, I hit a checkpoint, and then they say, upload a picture of your driver's license, and I was like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving Facebook my ID.
Well, that's what I had to do on Twitter in the end. They weren't happy with me having an account unless I gave in a mobile number, and I eventually gave in because I wanted to carry on posting.
Yeah.
So, but it's frustrating. But yeah, that was just someone who had pointed it out and had noticed definitely that she was one of those collective small groups of activists that were regularly seeing and liking my posts and sharing them, and then suddenly she just disappeared off the radar. It's like the algorithm suddenly decided she didn't have and this is me saying, look, if you post about a kitten you get 50 likes, if you post about Julian Assange you get absolutely nothing, or just the same people. Frustrating. And even if you try and stop the words, the words that could potentially be flagged, if you try and word something in a way that you don't even mention Assange, or even if you put it in a meme, there is ways of them collecting the text in the meme. Sometimes I've even tried scribbling over the text to try and make the OCR not be able to pick up the text in memes. It just seems that it gets to the point, and I think I noticed, particularly after the speech, but maybe even earlier, I had a very successful post, which is just, maybe 2 weeks ago now. And yeah, after that massive sharing that went on from that post, then it suddenly just all died down after that. It's like I hit a threshold and suddenly they were no longer small audiences and they wanted to shut me down. And then suddenly I'm shut down. So that's what I noticed. But yeah, this is just a general point about what you post seems to have different levels of engagement potential. And yeah, I mean, even like my husband's Facebook, he doesn't get my notifications. Like, we have like 60, 80 real life friends in common, and yet he just gets nothing.
My husband, he doesn't even have Facebook. He doesn't have a Twitter. He's not into politics. And
oh no, mine neither. Mine neither. Half the time I use his account to share stuff when I'm desperate. You know.
Sometimes when I was like trying to make a new account, I'd be like, Tim, I need your phone number. Tim, I need your email.
Yeah.
So, but he puts up with it though.
Is he supportive though? Supportive.
Yeah, we have to. We have to have a core group that supports us. And so, you know, I have that group on Discord. It's like a kind of like a game.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know, Unity for Jay uses it, so I'm sure that you're used to it by now.
Yeah.
So I started one. It's the community. It's called Unity in the Community, and it's for all censored activists and censored media, independent media. And it's basically, so if you get Facebook jailed or if you get deleted from a social media, censored or whatever, you can jump on there and say, hey, I need this to go out. This information.
Can I invite anyone there, or should I go through you first?
You can invite anybody there. Anybody that you think would need it, that's who it's for. I posted it. I have memes, so I can give you memes with the URL in it so they can access it easily. And just share in the meme, say, go to this link.
Okay, well, if you share one of them now, I'll make sure I get it out there to them.
Yeah, let me
know. This one is my birthday was actually on the day that I was protesting and one news film does, and would you believe they just ignored my birthday completely? Like I've got 1,600 friends or something, and not one birthday message apart from my sister who knew it was my birthday. And one old school friend who I've recently friended, who must have bothered to look it up at some point or remembered it from my past, you know. But yeah, so I had these two messages and I couldn't believe that they do that.
Sorry. Go ahead. Okay, so this link right here, I'll put it below when I upload this video. I'll also put it in the bottom, but it's for anybody that needs it. You know, and we're talking more than we have in the past, and I've normally just like fangirled over your videos and shared them. But now I want to be like, you know, weekly invested in your message, and we'll definitely be staying connected too. So anybody in our circle, you're invited to come. If you're censored, you can use this platform. And it's been so helpful for me. Like the main reason I made it is because you know, when I was leaving on Facebook, I had no other way to get a hold of people. You know?
Yeah.
And this is
I've got a few of them now. I've got the NZ Internet Party one, and I've got, which is quite good for getting hold of Susie, but also Unity4J is good for getting hold of Susie. And then, yeah, but there's also the more Kiwi side of the party that still has a Discord running. And then there's a couple of groups with people like Caitlin and Susie and Elizabeth Lee Vossen, and, you know, and Ron Clone and people like that. So there's some interesting people to talk to. Oh yeah, so that was just, yeah, my birthday got completely organised, but it did happen to coincide with when I was on One News and we were doing protests with me and Timothy and a whole group of people outside the US Embassy after the arrest and the extradition. And yeah, sort of things like the media companies here picking up, interviewing me and then using none of it, or putting it on the 6 a.m. broadcast in the morning and then never having it on the evening news, or refusing me the footage even though I'm a willing customer to pay for it, and then finding out that they'd actually blocked me. Yeah, this one, I'm wondering whether this is why my personal work website and emails have been blocked by TVNZ and Getty Images. I turned up to the reception with one guy with a sign who said nothing and was quite non-threatening, absolutely non-threatening. But I called out the sort of crappy bias in reporting for Assange and WikiLeaks, and I thought they could do a better job. And I did that in the reception with my signs, so that might have been construed as a blockable offence. I don't know, but basically, 3 weeks of me trying to get that one news footage from my birthday protest after the arrest, and absolutely nothing, and no responses back until I made a complaint online using a form which you fill in a web, and of course they had to answer that because that wasn't coming from my website. And they finally saw it, and then they denied me access to the footage under educational use, under public use, paying, under any kind of use. They denied access to footage that had aired at 6 a.m. in the morning. They're just not willing for me to use it. It seems nuts. But anyway, and the concern was that how did that block of my architecture business is greenweaver.co.nz, and unfortunately, like, I didn't intend to become an activist. It was just I was trying to go to a protest a year ago, really. Other than sharing online, I'd never really intended to take a lead in any of that. And unfortunately, my Twitter is my business name and was my business Twitter, which I hardly ever used, and I just started adopting it.
I knew you for the longest time. I didn't know what your last name was. I just knew Greenweaver Art. That's how I saw you. So it's taking me a little bit of an adjustment to Alex Hills. Okay, Alex Hills.
Yeah, well, so Greenweaver's my business, and Greenweaver Architecture. And this is the website that seems to have been blocked by TVNZ and Getty Images. And so that I have concerns with, because how can they, I mean, what if I'm a genuine customer wanting access to Getty Images footage or TVNZ to write a press release, which I do regularly, if they have my email blocked, I'm representing a group of 400 New Zealanders, and they're not getting my press releases. I find that really disgusting. And this is why they hadn't responded to 3 weeks of my requests for footage, and anyway, they've said no. I just find it sick a little bit.
Yeah, I just saw some Getty Images at all approaches.
The same thing's happening with the footage from the speech. I tried to contact the people that were at that event. It was in Parliament. It was recorded the whole way through with good sound from a good Parliament camera or some kind of camera from somewhere that was very official looking. And yet I can't seem to get any access to that footage either, which is frustrating because my sound didn't work out on Greg's video so well for the speech. It was a bit covert.
Okay, we have about 20 minutes. I want to let's talk about Assange and Manning. So Chelsea Manning, she was arrested. She was released from jail today.
Yes, I heard 62 days was up, but they're going to bring her back in for the 16th.
Yeah, they are. Well, there's no reason why they wouldn't. So.
They've already. They'll bring her back in, I'm sure.
Maybe she can go home and get some rest and get a shower and recoup. If only.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'd be running if I were her, but that's probably the worst advice ever.
Well, I don't know.
It's such a witch hunt, and it's so unjust, and law has broken down in England, and it's a shame. The Magna Carta was written there. It's a disgrace, and the Constitution is being completely ignored, and you can't lock up someone for not wanting to testify. Unless there's a special
brave and really revolutionary, and I was not a huge supporter of her action to run for Congress. I didn't support that. I supported her, but I feel like we have to stop investing in a system that treats people like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel disgusting. Like, that's why I don't vote. We started a movement called Obstruct the Vote in the U.S.
Yeah, I know. I've shared your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's obstructthevote.org. I'll put the link in the caption below. But I feel very strongly about this, and that's why I'm wearing my yellow vest. I think we need to have a real revolution.
Revolution is required. We need to rise up.
We have to rise up. And today was really inspiring. I did a small Julian protest by myself in my town. I don't have anybody in my town. And I was like, you know what? I can't wait for other people, Yeah. You just got to do it. Do it alone. And I'm
scared. It's being scared. And the fact is, if you are scared, then that means that you must believe the bad things that we're telling you about. Therefore, being scared is the worst thing you can do, right? Isn't it? I mean, but people aren't getting that. And I mean, you know, even to some extent, my husband is not getting that either. He's very much a mainstream media digester. I can't even convince him. What hope have I got? Seriously?
You know what? He is slowly learning. Even though you said, how long have you been in activism?
20, almost 20 years. Well, no, not married. Been together 20 years. We met in the millennium, and I married him 2004. So. And
you've been in activism 20 years, you said?
Into activism.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I married him in 2004. I met him in 99. You know, we used to party in London and have a great time traveling around the world. And he's on the edge of he's definitely not mainstream opinion, but he won't watch anything outside of.
You know, people wake up at their own pace. You can't force it. Oh.
That's our engagement day, actually. Timothy, my best friend, I'm pretty sure, you know, Ian struggles with my best friend who's musical and my husband is, but, you know, he knows I love him.
My husband.
Awesome. So what did you say his name was? Tim?
Tim.
Tim, cool. Hey, Tim.
Dad's a farmer, but he's a neuroscientist. He's in research, so
nice.
I don't know how that happened, but... Okay, so Julian Assange right now, he's basically in the Guantanamo Bay of the UK, right? You know.
Yeah, and from the sounds of Christian Hefrenson's visit and Pam, it wasn't very nice. And yeah, I mean, why is a publisher who's non-violent in this scenario anyway? I mean, it just shows you the level of evil here. War criminals.
They did the same to Nelson Mandela, though.
They did, and that was 6 years.
16 years.
Oh, 16 years?
Yeah,
6 years, well, he was...
What was it? 6 years in Robben Island. 16 years.
Yeah.
Other people...
and now he's Julian serving, what, 50 weeks for jumping bail on a case that was thrown out.
What's that?
Julian is serving 50 weeks. Is that correct?
Sorry, I can't hear you very well.
Okay, is that any better?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, so Julian is serving 50 weeks in jail for jumping bail on a case that was thrown out due to lack of evidence. I mean, how we have to rise up. That's the only way to save him, because I don't have any faith in our justice system.
No, and unfortunately, all those Q PSYOP people do, and they believe that Trump is going to pardon him, and there's going to be disclosure, and Hillary will go to jail, and all sorts of stuff, and Seth Rich.
It's been years. Trump's been president now for years.
Yeah.
He's not going after Hillary. The Democrats have not been fighting Trump on anything either. Like,
no, they love him.
They love him. They helped him. You know, have you read the Pied Piper strategy?
Yeah, of course.
Pied Piper, they told the media to lift up Trump and lift up the Pied Piper candidates, because it's all controlled opposition. It's all a game. It's all a facade.
And the media is happy to do that because they make a hell of a lot of money out of that. What was it? They said something like $4 billion worth of free advertising they gave to Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, like, how's the media in New Zealand? Is it like the US where it's like
well, apparently we came sick.
Pretty shit.
Yeah, it's pretty shit. We have got Scoop, which publish pretty much every press release we write, which is lovely, or Daily Blog, but they're kind of just they just blanket publish everything, so they're not the places where most people tend to go. TVNZ, they're useless. They really are just an arm of the same people we all know. And even Radio New Zealand, which is meant to be a little bit more state-owned enterprise-y, and so is TVNZ actually.
Yeah, more left-wing.
Yeah, it may be more left-wing, but they still spout the narratives. They still spout the rubbish narratives. And anyway,
because that's who's paying the bill.
Yeah.
The people who pay the bill for most of the TV in New Zealand is the government. There's only 4.5 million people in New Zealand, you see. So it's quite easy to section things out. And, you know.
Right now, I think in the U.S. we've done nothing for so long and not opposed all these lies and all these corrupt people for so long that we just have to build our numbers. Like that's what we're working on right now. We have to build our numbers outside the system, and we have to get people all on board on the same idea to basically overthrow our government. And
I mean, I think you need some big names to Exodus, and that's what I mean. I always hope that there'd be someone, you know, someone that would say, okay, enough's enough, get out of the system, you know, like, and step
that's
outside.
what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. So I hope that it pulls off. I really do.
We have to do it in the right way. We can't do it because right now there's so much negativity and so much delusion.
Yeah.
That if you bring too many people in the street at once that are not mentally healthy, it could be dangerous. And then, of course, there's obviously going to be infiltrators, and that's going to happen, you know, regardless of how, you know, careful we are, because the government is that corrupt. It is that, you know, they're going to be on to us just by organizing in public. They're going to see how many numbers we have. You know, we just have to keep it peaceful and, you know, make it about educating people. So that's what we're working on.
If everyone just talks to their friends and says how important it is, and some people will catch on.
What is the, like, break it down, you know, I mean, it's all kind of symptomatic of an industrialist system and mindset, isn't it? A right-wing economic theory practice. So, you know, I mean, when you're changing that many people's, like you've got, how many millions and millions of people have you got in America?
Yeah, you know? I had millions.
You know, and it's going to be, it's
about 400 million, or something. Well, it was used to be 250 million, but I imagine it's gone up.
What's the time?
It's 250 million. There you go. 321 estimated.
250.
321 because there's a lot of probably undocumented people. Isn't there? Yeah.
I'd say about 70% of them are unaware.
Yeah. 70%, but it's levels of awareness as well, isn't there? There's people that know that they shouldn't trust media, but they watch it anyway. And I think that's why I think that telling people that you're literally investing in military complex when you watch that stuff, and that you should really try and watch some stuff that's outside of that bracket, just as a moral viewpoint. People would wake up once they did that, you know.
I was watching a show today, and there was a mention. They had a character named Bashar al-Assad. Sound familiar? Sound like somebody else? And they're like, they referred to him as a dictator jewel thief. And
jewel thief? What?
Jewel thief. And they were like making him like this greedy dictator that's like doing some evil shit in the show. And I'm like, I can't even watch TV anymore. I hate Hollywood. I think they're so corrupt, and you know they're paid liars. They're paid liars to lie in movies, lie on stage, to lie promoting these candidates.
That's what they do. But you know, and if you want to do it the other way, then they do that too.
We have to pay for it, and we don't have the money, because our side doesn't have the money typically, does it?
Hey, you can change all my things and my religion and whatnot, but you could pay. It's an old Indian proverb.
You know, another way of attack I've noticed of watering down your message is friend requests. Have you been susceptible to a whole lot of friend requests?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and so do you notice I basically went through and deleted about 200 when I saw the same suspects keep on coming up in mutual friends, and none of them I knew.
Bots.
Maybe sometimes there's a famous journalist in there, but I think they're probably someone who is unscrupulous about who they add and don't care and just say yes to everything, you know? And so you tend to see these mutual friends and you think it's okay, but it's not. And what I think they're trying to do is water down your reach. Every time, you know, the algorithm is only going to let a certain amount of your users see your stuff. And then suddenly you've got all these new users, new followers who are sucking up your thing, but they're not actually genuine people, or I don't know. I've noticed that. And the screenshot that you had up before. Oh, bye, Tim. Timothy's
Bye.
gone.
Thank you for the song.
It's
See you
okay.
later.
Yeah, sorry I haven't put much verbal input in since.
No, it was beautiful. I loved it.
Cool. Yeah. This one is, I don't know if this is a long time back. Back on when we were doing the petition in New Zealand. Now, this was a ridiculous thing because we tried to get some big name petition sites to take our Assange petition, and they refused unless we changed the wording. One of them, Action Station, I think it was, is a New Zealand kind of based petition system.
Wow.
And they said unless we changed the wording to say that he should face justice in Sweden, they weren't interested. And so we were like, sod that. So we went to the New Zealand government petition website, and we did an official one there, just like the White House one, I guess. And endless, hundreds, 200 people told me they couldn't do it. I watched my colleagues sit here in my room with Wi-Fi, try to do it, and be shown no chance. Not only that, because so many people were reporting it. It was on the comment thread of every petition promotion that we had. So some people didn't even bother because they could see that there was problems with it. And this frustrated us, and we tried to follow that up, but they didn't ever give us a satisfactory answer. It was so wishy-washy. And anyway, the petition only really requested that New Zealand government discuss the potential for asylum in Parliament. We didn't ask them to offer it. We said, please may the Parliament discuss Assange's petition and the potential for asylum. Just discuss it and see who's for and against. All we wanted to know is how the politicians stack up on what side of the wall, and we thought that was a fair request. But they reported back in October and said, oh no, it's out of our jurisdiction. Which is an incredible answer for something so simple to be requested. And of course, it's never out of someone's jurisdiction to offer asylum to someone. That is ridiculous, and just shows you how much New Zealanders under the Five Eyes help. And I think censorship was bad around that time too when we were doing the petition. That was a bad period for me as well. Even my account got locked out, and like I said, I had to give my phone number. It was all during that time when I was trying to share that, and I wasn't even doing repeat pastes or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
I was always rewording that. I was very careful and just tried to tactically put them in good places, perhaps. But yeah.
You do have a lot of hoops for you to jump through just to be able to say what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so people can find you on Twitter at Freeweaver Art.
Freeweaver Arch. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I know it's a long one, but I'm anti-war, also anti-war, protect Julian, probably will come up as well. Yeah, and often I'm posting out WikiLeaks stuff.
I mean, this is probably the biggest thing that we need to be focusing on right now. Like, all globally, free speech. I mean, if the U.S. does this, and if, say, worst case scenario, they put him to death for publishing, we're all screwed. Because it's only going to get worse. They're going to go after another and another and another.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know.
But they will. I mean, if they do that, they're making a martyr. And then I really don't think people can just sit back. Surely, although anything can surprise me, like I said, they've eroded his support from every angle. Whether it's the Me Too, the Hillary butthurt people, if it's the people who are concerned about classified safety of people that potentially were harmed.
If they don't
harmed
have that information to believe, then I don't value their political opinion. If they don't want to know what our government's doing, then they don't need to be, they don't need to be in control of who's running our government.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I said this the other day. I said, don't follow the crowd because they're lost. They're utterly lost. They don't know how to fix the government. They're stuck in the status quo.
Yeah.
But okay, so look, real quick, we have just a few minutes. I want to run this idea by you. I was talking with my friend Dave Denton, and he is on Discord as well. This is his idea. He thinks that we should get a group together from our circle, like maybe Deb and Beatrice and a bunch of other activists that I know and work with, and protestmen, and basically pick somebody. For instance, pick you for this week, and the whole week we just share out your content every day, share it out, and have you as our highlighted person. And the next week we may pick somebody else.
Another focus. Yeah.
So that way we think, we can kind of get some support for you, get people on your YouTube, get people on your Twitter, because we want to help your message, and we got to help each other.
Yeah. I'm happy to do that. It'd be great if we had a central place where that was going, and then we could just check in every week and make sure we've done a good,
On Discord, I think would work perfect. There's like sub-channels. Yeah. We can make a sub-channel just for the highlighted person of the week. And we could even just throw out suggestions, but we want to have you for our first week. So we're going to start that probably tomorrow.
Wow, cool.
And I'll be like, I'll get a Google Doc with all your Twitter or whatever platforms you're on, and have that for people to access.
Yeah. And I've got that YouTube account where I've been putting up videos. I mean, there's some of them that are a bit repetitive because it's me putting up different versions of the same thing. But yeah, I mean, it would be great, and I would happily return the favor. Yeah, because I'm usually very happy to share your messages. So
I think it's all about the credibility, and I really appreciate your work. We got to help us on to do that. We got to help people like you that advocate for them. If you're willing to put in the time, and I'm willing to put in the time, we can find others, and we'll get it done.
Yeah, I think we've got another group on Facebook called Operation Free Assange, and they're quite good with keeping up to date with information. And it's really lovely. I love the groups that tend to be cross-spectrum. The kind of groups on Facebook that tend to be non-partisan is the kind of groups that I really gel with, that tried to put that aside. And obviously Unity tried that, and they've had a lot of stick for it, which I really hate. I mean, I know there are still people.
Don't worry about it. You just have to let those people go. The people that are stuck in that, gotta vote, gotta have somebody represent me. They gotta be represented by somebody, and they don't know what to do. And I'm like, Gerard Hay the other day, he said, basically making fun of the people that feel like they need representation, and he goes, "You're a damn adult. Represent yourself." And that's what I think we need to be doing, and that's what you're doing, and I'm doing, and I'm excited to do anything I can to help you. My whole team is, Dave is, everybody wants to help you, so we'll get it done.
I mean, I guess one of the problems we face is we are in the same opinion kind of silo. You and I, we all come from a very similar kind of vent in things that we share and that what we're interested in. Yeah. And it's how do we get out of that silo? Because it's not like, it's waking up the other people, which we need to do. We do a lot of preaching to the converted. I'm so sick of Facebook because of preaching to converted. I feel the same is happening on Twitter.
I hate Facebook, but the people, there's also people in the U.S. saying that we need to Facebook exit, and I'm like, no, that's what they want. They want people like us to give up. They want us to stop using their platform.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had friends posting the other day saying, "Oh, my cat died. I'm really sorry to put out. I don't like to put out negative Facebook posts." And I thought, bless her, I love that friend, but what you've just said basically belittles anyone who has a concern about something, who posts about serious issues on Facebook. What you've done is obviously been susceptible to a narrative which says Facebook is not for politics, it's for fluffy kittens and rainbow pictures and what I ate for breakfast. It's not for
Facebook is what we make of it, because it's there. Right. It's there regardless of what we do. So we need
Have
to
you
use
heard
that.
what Assange said about the social media and what AI could do with all that personal information of all of us that we've willingly donated to the internet? That the AI, if it ever develops a serious AI, like as in a conscious one, then it has the optimum information to use, which is quite scary. It makes me want to go in and delete it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you talking with me. We definitely should do it again. I'm going to get as much info from you as I can of all your different accounts, and we will get a team on it because the U.S. has your back. The U.S.
Nice.
supports the signs. I mean, at least are the citizens do, and we're going to show that. We're going to get as many people as we can to support you and Unity for Jay and Free Assange, New Zealand, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna
Brilliant. Thank you. Mwah. And let me know where that channel is so that I can dip in and help out as well for other people.
Yeah, I just appreciate you so much, and you know, the people that know me on my Facebook, I don't spend time on people that are not worth it. Like I have chronic pain, and I only put effort into the people that I think are really inspiring to me. You're what a real feminist looks like, and I want everybody to see that.
None of that pussy hat wearing.
None of the
Hey, chronic pain. Have you ever come across something low dose ketamine?
Ketamine, yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't taken it yet, but I've heard.
And I just highly recommend because it reboots the brain. And so if you've got anything like that, which is a nerve-based thing, I've heard that there are places in maybe Philadelphia or somewhere like that that might do a trial, a genuine trial of it. But yeah, that's been my experience. I've got a sister with chronic pain. She didn't get it either, the trial, but I've been trying to convince her. So yeah.
Well, this was really good. I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to share.
All right then. Well, I'm here. You know my hours now. Okay.